asked Leon to go over one game in particular, and that was his game from this year's Croatian Cup final against the legendary Croatian Grandmaster Zdenko Kožul, who was an European champion in 2006, I believe. And I think at his peak he was 2650 or no, that's something like that.
I'm not so sure. I don't know the historical data.
Yeah, okay, but still he's around 2600, 25, 90 or something
Yeah, he's
like
been
that.
there for I don't know 15 years, 20.
Yeah, he's maintained his rating for quite some while, and he obviously he doesn't have the strength of a European champion, but he's still one of the top Croatian Grandmasters. I think in the recent Croatian Championship he finished in top 5 or something like that. I might have to check out. Yeah, so that game was played like 3 months ago, right?
Two months ago.
Yeah, so can you tell us a bit now before we get to the actual game? So you this was not the first time you played Kožul. So how do you prepare for such a game? What was your attitude going into the game, and did you encounter any psychological difficulties because you already lost to him a couple of times, right?
Okay, first of all, on that Croatian Cup, my team was like 10th seed, and this was the last round, and we were in the top. We were like 4th, and we needed to win the match. And this team, Kožul's team, was the top team. They were, I think, 1st seed, and it was whoever wins the match, they were like rated 100 or 200 points above us on all 4 boards.
They are like all grandmasters, right?
Yeah, 4 grandmasters, and my team was I'm an international master. The second board was international master, and 2 FIDE masters. No.
Yeah, just for the viewers to notice, the Croatian Cup final it's played on 4 boards. So that it's not a typical like Croatian league. It's played on 6 boards, but this is like a shorter format. It's played on 4 boards, and so Leon was playing. So you were 4th at this moment in the last round. You played again on the first board of your team matchup against Zdenko Kožul. Yeah,
and it was very important to win the game because then in the other 3 boards they only had to score 1.5 out of 3. I mean, only it's very difficult, but it would give them some chance of going into top 3 and winning a prize.
Yeah, because your rating difference compared to your opponent, the rating margin was the lowest in your team, right?
Yeah, okay, but that wasn't the only point. But it was also a morning game and no less time to prepare, or I don't know, maybe it was more exhausting for him than it was to me.
Yeah, okay, but what I wanted to say is that. Out of all your teammates, it's like, statistically speaking, it was most likely to expect that if somebody has to chance to make a surprise, it would be you, right?
Yeah, possibly.
Yeah, possibly. I mean, okay, it's not never certain, but at least judging by the numbers. No, I was just wondering whether anybody else was playing somebody like weaker, so you know what I'm saying.
Yeah,
of course. Yeah. Okay, so you said it was a morning round, and how do you prepare? As far as I know, Kožul doesn't have such a broad repertoire.
I played him once 3 years ago and once 2 years ago, and both times I lost, and both times I was black, and this was the 3rd time I was black, and both of these games he played the Catalan and he crushed me. Like d4, knight f6, c4, e6, and the move g3, d5.
Yes, put in the board. So these games had knight f3.
No, it's c4.
He played
c4. That's important because it doesn't allow b6.
Just a moment.
Come on, Nico. Come on. Technical problems.
Yeah, technical difficulties. Yeah, my keyboard stopped working. E6, right?
G3. This move order is important to enter the Catalan because there is no move b6. And if the knight is on f3, then it's the Queen's Indian with...
So if you want specifically to enter Catalan, you need to start with g3.
Yeah, you need to start with g3. And the second move has to be c4.
Yeah, because what Leon is saying that after knight f3, you don't have to go d5, but you can go b6, and you have the Queen's Indian on the board, right?
Yeah, that's right.
Okay, yeah, that makes some sense. Yeah, that's at our level, these types of move orders are not particularly important because you play one thing and then you get it on. No, but yeah, already at like not the very top level, move orders play an important role, right?
And the first 2 games continued with 3d5, and in both of those games he beat me convincingly, and he deserved to win both of them. And it's famous that I hate the Catalan. It's not famous, but it's pretty known that I hate the Catalan, and I have like 5 or 6 losses and 5 or 6 draws. And now it's official. Now it's famous that you hate the Catalan, but many players
Hey, by the way, sorry. Hi there, Master Virjatovic from Portugal.
Free bishop b4, Bruno Paučić. Oh, hello, Master.
Yeah.
Bruno Paučić says free bishop b4. Yeah, of
Wait,
course. The
just a
Bogo
minute.
is possible if, in both of these cases, if white plays g3 or knight f3. Bishop b4 is always an option.
What do you mean no sound? Technical.
There should be sound.
Wait. Okay.
Everything's
Okay.
working.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. 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 Thank you. Yeah. Maybe there's something wrong with USBs. That's why not. Okay. Now it should be all fine. I think. So yeah. Sorry. We were interrupting you. So you were saying that. You hate the Catalan.
Yeah.
About Catalan. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, that's why. Okay. That's why in this game I decided to go for something else, which I plan to play against free g3 for a long time.
And so it's possible to avoid Catalan like with this move order, because as far as I have seen on the top level nowadays, Catalan is still very much topical. The other day, Mamedjaro used it to beat Sol. I don't know if you saw the game.
Okay, but the Catalan. Okay, it's one of the best tries for white, and it can be really annoying because of this bishop on g2 if black always lacks in development with this bishop on c8, and it can become a big problem. So I don't know. I tried everything possible against the Catalan. I tried many lines. I tried to avoid it with many lines. I don't know. Well,
so
after
this
g3, you can play d5. You can play c5. You can play bishop b4. You can do many things. The Bogo Indian is also fine.
The Bogo Indian arises after bishop b4. That is right.
That's right.
Okay. Yeah.
So it's your choice. What do you want to do?
Okay. So you pretty much expected the same Catalan this time as well, and you decided you prepared something.
Also, he also plays sometimes here move knight to f3. And he plays the setups with d3 and stuff like that, and the e3 and stuff like that.
But isn't that somewhat passive, like let's say less ambitious?
Not necessarily, because if he played these positions 500 times in his life, he knows them much better than I.
Yeah, sorry. Yeah, okay, that's true. So we have some strong suggestions from the chat. We have one h5 suggestion from our bullet specialist Bruno. Yeah, we have CC Complex who plays don't play e6.
Just don't play 2e6. Well, I tried some of the 2g6 in the recent games, but I didn't want to play the King's Indian against Kožul because he's playing it with black all his life, and he knows much more about it than me.
Yeah,
I didn't want to play h5 because it's not a good.
Surprisingly enough, but I have seen. Hello, Quash Kid. No, we are just looking at the Leon's game against former European champion Zdenko Kožul from this year's Croatian Cup final, and we have just started talking about the opening, so we got into some move order specifics and details in the process. So nothing in particular, just generic talking about chess. And yeah, we were talking about some strong suggestions from the chat and why they might not be as strong as some people think. So yeah, please Leon, continue. So okay.
Should we analyze the game, or do you want to ask me some more questions about? My preparation for the game, I was black for the third time in a row, and I knew that I expected this. I thought, okay, 90% that he is going to try to beat me the same way, because it just works so well for him in the last two games. And this is actually the only thing I prepared for, and I played the move c5.
Okay, just one additional question. So when you're in general, when you're in a tournament, do you do like a lot of work on the openings during the actual tournament? Do you prepare for a long time, or is it like do you reap the benefits of your previous work and then you just like revisit the lines or maybe do some minor changes?
Okay, it depends on how much I worked on. It always depends on whether I have games in the lines they're playing, and do I want to avoid them? Do I have some novelties? If they can have some novelty, which I don't know well, it's very complicated. It just depends on the situation. Or maybe if there is something I want to play just to surprise them, or maybe to try new lines, then I just work much more than if I play just what I know the best. without, and it doesn't matter if they prepared or not.
Yeah. Okay. So he plays. You played c5.
Yeah, I played the move
And
c5. I wanted to enter this type of Benoni because now he already has the move g3, and in my opinion, the Benoni with g3 this Catalan Benoni is the worst type of Benoni for white. So
Yeah, nota bene chat, Leon is a certified hater and non-believer in the Benoni structures, as the quote above states. It's a genuine quote, and he once said to, who did he say? So he was like, it was some blitz, and his opponent played the Benoni, and he got crushed in like 9 moves, and Leon arrived to and looked at me with like biggest smile on his face I ever saw, and he said, well, he played the Benoni, it's a 0, ha. And so you say that this g3 is not as dangerous against the Benoni.
Okay, you troller.
Of course I'm a troller. I warned you.
Okay, now there are 2 moves possible, d5 or knight f3. Knight f3 is also possible, and then c takes d4, knight takes d4, and
you can control the mouse.
do you want? Okay, I can show it. Knight f3, c takes d4, knight takes d4, and now there are many good moves. Queen c7 is possible. D5 is, I think, the best move, arguably the best move. Bishop to b4 is also possible. Not even knight c6 or a6 is possible, or a6 or knight c6 is possible. But I think d5 is the best move here, and you just go for more space. You play e5 and knight f3 or knight b3. You play d4. Knight e5 is impossible due to queen a5 check and queen takes c5, and you just play this position. It's
you might a bit just take it slower because I'm somewhat struggling. So what he's saying is that that you can capture because you lose the piece. So this is a known motive. So yeah.
You have to castle and play some, or well, in this position, if you don't take, you are supposed to castle knight c6 and play some sort of, I don't know, Benoni, or it's not really a Benoni, but you play bishop to e7, takes rook e1, or bishop to f4. But black is fine here. The theory, there's a lot of theory, but black is just fine. Maybe it's more ambitious to play queen c7 to hit the pawn immediately, and then white has some lines to sacrifice the pawn and play for the initiative.
Yeah, but that's similar to those knight f3 Nimzo lines. Yeah, where
bishop b4 is more like the Nimzo
lines. Yeah. Okay, true. It's similar, not the same. Yeah, obviously the bishop is not. If bishop before knight c3, then we will get exactly the same thing. Yeah,
true. And so after d5,
can't he just take on d5?
That's not a good move. This is not a good move because now there is no. If you play knight to f3 after this,
you wouldn't have anything.
I just take and I'm already maybe even much better with black. I'm clearly better. If you probably have to play f3, but that's such an ugly move. And,
no argument there.
C takes d5 is something you really don't want to do. Knight c2 is better than that.
Yeah, okay, so that's pretty committal actually, right? Knight f3 already, so it's.
Well, bishop g2 is what they play in 99%.
Yeah. I mean, but the whole line starting with knight f3 is kind of committal, right?
Oh, well, yeah.
Because you allow black to more or less are forced to allow black to have this huge center, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, so knight f3 is a different option, but he always played this d5 move, and
so you expected?
Yeah, I expected this, and I prepared this. I didn't have too much time, but I already prepared this against other guys who played this free g3 move order.
So
I just
everything
had to,
against the Catalan.
Yeah, and here I had to just repeat the lines. What you asked me before. Here I just had to repeat the lines I already knew and studied at home, and I just did that.
So just reminding yourself of the details.
Yeah.
Okay.
So this is more or less forced. Knight c3. This move order, all of these moves, no matter which move order white chooses, it always comes down to this position. And here, I mean, there's nothing. There's just nothing else for white to do. And here, we're at a crossroad because black has at least 5 or 6 different moves. a6, knight bd7, rook e8, even h6 is possible, bishop to f5.
Knight a6.
Knight a6 is always an option. Many moves, really. And I decided to. I think rook e8, a6, and knight bd7 are 3 options which are the best for black. And I chose this knight to this.
Okay, so if you can just stop and explain for us less initiated what is the main aim? Okay, I know like just the outskirts of the plan is to push the pawn on the queen side and to grab space and eventually to put the knights on e5. But how is, let's say, what is white aiming for in this position, and what should black pay attention to prevent it? Which are the ideas?
Well, of course, black's idea would be to grab the space with e4, f4, and try to play for e5 in the long run. So of course, knight to d2, knight to c4 is a maneuver in all the Benonis. In absolutely every Benoni, white has a move knight to d2 and knight to c4, because that's the best square for the knight, which it controls d6, it controls e5, it controls b6. So if let's say a6 and a4 are included, after a5 from white, the b6 square is very weak. After the plan knight to d2 and knight to c4.
Yeah, but sometimes, as far as I know, black plays all the same and then opens the b file.
Yeah.
Well, for instance, that's for somebody who hasn't studied the Benoni so much, it's always difficult to figure out when that's good or when. So how to evaluate the position when the b let's say after say some move knight bd7, knight d2, or a5, let's say, when this move b5 is good or when it's not. So how do you evaluate that, let's say?
Well, it always depends on the position. There is no clear
well, guidelines. I'm asking you for shortcuts, come on.
Well, it always depends on the position, but in general, the plans are for black to try to push for a6, b5 and the majority on the queen side, and for white the plans are bringing knight to c4 and playing for e4, f4 and d5, and to play in the center.
Okay.
So that's in general in the Benoni, in every Benoni. And now it depends on the position, on whether what is good. Sometimes an interesting move for white is to play b4, because the structure usually gets changed, and you get this 4 square for your pieces with white.
And if he pushes c4, then he has a weak pawn on b5, right?
Okay, not necessarily, but it's usually up. Depends on the d4 square. You don't want to give it up, so you usually play b6. But then the b file opens and.
Yeah, but no.
This b4 is also planned for white.
I'm familiar with this move. I'm not in exactly this position, but when black is already committed to b5, then I have seen before.
Yeah, then it's even better.
Yeah. Okay. So many ideas in the offing. Okay, but now we are maybe diverting a bit too much in the details.
It's your stream. The viewers can say if this is boring, if they want more action.
The viewers would probably like me to shut up and let you talk, but that's not going to happen. So maybe you can continue, and I'll just go. I don't know, get some water.
Fair enough. All right. So I played the move knight b to d7, and it's just one of the lines. So he played bishop to f4, which is the most ambitious move. Knight to d2 is also possible, but he chose this line. This is supposed to be the most dangerous move.
Was he surprised by your choice, or?
Well, of course he was. I think he was surprised on move 3, because I have never played c5.
And
it's on.
Hello, Nikola Drummer. So most of the time it's only suffering if a opponent stronger than Viekos feels bad, man.
Yeah. Okay. Fair point.
That's really good point. Yeah. But isn't that true of all the openings? You do continue. This is between me and CC Complex.
Yeah. Okay. Bishop to f4 is the best move because it gains a tempo on the pawn on d6, and queen to e7 is almost forced. So here white again has several options. The moves are a4, rook e1, h3, and I think a4 is what Avruk suggests in his book about d4, in his repertoire.
Well, which
d4.
move?
a4.
And so I'm sorry, but what about the primitive knight b5? Then you go back with knight e8?
Yeah, I just go knight e8, and the problem with that is, okay, I defended c7, I defended both of the squares, and now I'm threatening already to be better with a6 and b5, and the b2 is hanging. Yeah, so knight to b5 is actually a bad move.
Yeah, you probably have to go back immediately, and you haven't achieved anything.
Yeah,
Okay.
and it might be possible to already play something like F. Okay, not immediately, but it may be possible to bring either, I don't know, knight to c7 or stuff like that, or knight e5. And
Yeah, this knight wants to move from f6 anyway, right?
yeah, usually you move it away either on h5 or an e8 c7.
Or e4, I've seen some.
Okay, but usually you cannot do it because of knight d2, because knight d2 is already played.
Yeah.
Anyway, knight to b5 is not a good move. So a4 is what Tafruk suggests, if I'm not mistaken.
And sorry, we have one question. As white, I'm happy to play g takes f4 if knight takes h5 happens.
No, not a chance, because you don't want to give up your dark squared bishop, because my bishop is going to be really strong on this diagonal, and your king side is going to be wide open. Because I'm just going to bring the other knight to h5 and try to push maybe, I don't know, maybe h6, g5, maybe bishop sour. Your king side is ruined and you gave up a bishop, so
Yeah,
you want to retreat the bishop. Something similar happened in the game, so you will see.
Yeah, it is an idea in the London system, but this is not London system, this is Benoni. So
Yeah, okay, and you give it for your opponent's bishop and not for the knight.
No, but there are. Yeah, that's true. Yeah, okay. Fair point.
So I think that after I don't know,
A4 is the rook move. That's what he said.
he said that he suggests that because he says that after rook e1 or I don't know something else, black is okay with knight g4 or knight to d2. No, knight to d2 here. I'm talking shit. Knight to d2 is a really bad move because white immediately gets into trouble after knight h5, bishop e3, f5, and f4 is coming. So here black is just better, and clearly better. So you don't want to play knight to d2 here. Usually it would be a good move.
Yeah, but those are the micro nuances, like it's all concrete, like
yeah.
You can just rely on general concepts without taking the specifics of the position into consideration, right?
Yeah, so h3 is this a4 or rook e1 I think are the most critical moves, yeah. Okay, h3 is I think the main move for a long time, but now after people analyzed this with engines and they found a really nice line after which black is just okay. So and he played h3. He didn't want to play. I don't think he knew a lot of theory here. He just plays this on understanding, on chess understanding. So I played knight to h5. H3 is to stop knight g5, knight e5 maneuver. That's right. Otherwise it would be black's idea to play knight g4, knight to e5, and maybe knight to c4 then, or a6, a4 first, and then play knight to c4. So knight to h5.
But it is interesting to me that you never include here a6, a4. So
well, it's very possible to play this after on the ninth move. I played knight b to d7. It's possible to play this position with a6 and a4 included. It's also good for black, but
it's not as significant, right?
Maybe, but that's not the point because I choose when I'm going to play a6, a4.
Yeah, okay.
Maybe I want my pawn on a7 because of the square b6 in some lines. I don't know. I'm not sure if black is happy to include a6, a4. That's right.
Yeah,
this is what I'm talking about. So yeah, and maybe it gives white another option of playing a5. So and maybe fixing the structure.
Yeah, okay. It's not as clear, right?
And if white plays this first, then it may be possible not to play a6.
Yeah, that's true. No, because most of the times at my level, these moves are like included automatically. So yeah, I was just curious about that, but okay.
Okay, so he retreats the bishop, of course. I mean, not retreats, but he plays bishop to g5 first. And this is a very typical idea in this Benoni, because it forces it. I cannot play something like queen to e8, I think, because of knight b5. And if I go back, I haven't achieved anything. So I have to play f6. And only then he retreats the bishop to d2. This is better than retreating the bishop immediately, because now he's threatening g4 to capture the knight, and I have to play f5. And now he got an additional idea to play knight to g5 and knight to e6. And in most of the lines, black removes this knight, and captures this pawn, but then this bishop becomes really annoying after queen b3, and the light squares are really bad. So this is the point of white's play.
It's common idea in many lines of the King's Indian as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Never play f6. You're breaking Feingold's rules. Ben Feingold. Oh yeah. I'm not sure about his rules, but
he has like several truisms, and one of those truisms, like dogmas, is never play f6. So yeah.
Well, I broke it.
Yeah.
So
well, it's better than losing the queen or the exchange, right? So
well.
Yeah. Okay, it's hard to understand the narrative unless you're familiar with Ben Feingold persona. So
yeah, and also a fun fact is that this variation with knight bd7, which I chose, is always played by Evgeny Alexeyev, a Russian grandmaster who is now rated 2600. He was rated 2700, I think.
Yeah.
Never plays f6 if you're below 1900. Okay, f5, and my idea now he played the move rook to b1 after 20 minutes thing. What concerned him was my preparation after knight to g5.
So you were playing, you were blitzing.
Yeah, I was blitzing out because I knew that this is going to happen. Not exactly this, but I expected this to happen. So, knight to g5 with this idea. Now the point is, I play the move f4, and after f4 the knight is under attack. It looks ridiculous because it allows knight to e6, but black just captures here. I take on g3, so I sacrifice an exchange, and white has to take it, otherwise all of this doesn't make any sense. I capture it with the knight, f captures g3, and knight takes g3. So now, when we look at the position, I lost an exchange, but I have a pawn, I have active pieces and really good squares for them, like
dark square domination.
This square, I have queen h4 potentially attacking h3 and attacking the king. And when the knight comes to e5, there will be no chasing it. So knight f5, bishop d4, knight e3. I have many ideas, and in this position, black is slightly better, I think.
Definitely, it's certainly easier to play it as black.
And it's very difficult to just say that I'm better, but it's really easy to play. And I was hoping for something like this because, in general. In giving up, I'm not even so much material down. I'm in exchange down, but I have a pawn, and my pieces are so good. He has to move the rook somewhere. Then I have many ideas. And I don't know.
You can even just improve slowly, and
I can even play bishop d7, rook e8. It's still, it's just a really pleasant position for black.
Yeah. Okay.
So
it makes sense that he avoided all that, especially since you were like just.
Yeah, I was blitzing.
Going.
Okay, so he didn't want to play knight to g5, he played rook to b1. And here is where I was out of book, and I had to start thinking on my own. So his idea is what I mentioned some time ago about going b4. He wants to get this square for the knight and then put the knight on e6. Or provoke my b6, and then he's going to have the b file for the rook. So have some activity and I don't know, queen e4.
Sorry, will he have after, let's say you play now b6 before?
B6, okay.
Let's say before just approximate to bishop b7, and if he takes.
You don't want to. Okay.
If he takes with the knight.
Okay, takes with the knight, but this is what I mentioned about with the d4 square. Okay, I cannot do it immediately. I know.
But you lose control over d4. Thank you, one knight f3 for following. Oh my God, one knight f3.
Knight f3 is a good move. Thank you.
That's such an ugly username.
You won't play b6 before white.
Yeah, I know. Yeah. That was we were just like approximate to just. I wanted to capture with the knight.
But if you want to capture with the knight, you don't even have to play b6.
Yeah, that's true. I was just looking at, let's say, how to develop the light square bishop. Like,
yeah, but
I know it's a ridiculous suggestion, but.
Sorry, no, it's not a ridiculous suggestion. But okay, first of all, I don't have to take immediately. But even if I take immediately, this square is just a big problem. I think. Let's say knight to b5. I just want to bring the knight here and here.
Yeah, or
so
c6.
I don't know if it's okay to sack the pawn. Maybe it's not. Maybe I don't want to sack the pawn now. Maybe I just play knight g5. But I'm just speaking in general now.
Yeah.
Maybe just slowly, like rook c1, bishop b3 and
But
then...
can you? Yeah, okay. I thought that you might have problems with the d5 pawn, but
Yeah, and if I just played slowly, like rook c1, bishop b3, bishop to d4...
Yeah, no, but whenever you go back with the knight to f6, so if you go back, let's say rook c1, knight f6, I thought you might be hanging here, but you have just knight d4 opening the bishop. Thank you, Kaito Lupin, for following the stream. Kaito Lupin. Is that some Harry Potter reference or I'm going bonkers? Okay, so you hinted at b4 and okay, we have seen your move, but
yeah, and he wants also to get away from the diagonal here.
Multi-purpose move, right?
Yeah, rook b1 is a good move. So I played knight to e5. The move itself, I think, makes a lot of sense. I want to play knight to f4, knight to c4. Sorry. Maybe sometimes I want to play f4 and then sack here, and I'm also developing. I want to play bishop d7, rook e8, finish the development.
Yeah.
So knight to e5 is, I think, a very logical move. And
Harry Potter reference because Lupin, you know, Remus Lupin, my favorite character. Like, it's a French name, and okay, that explains it. Yeah. Sorry, I see Harry Potter in everything, so don't mind me.
That's true. He always sees magic.
Yeah. Not that I'm a huge fan, but yeah, I also see magic. Like in this game.
Would you say the whole idea with knight h5 and moving the f pawn was a slight inaccuracy after you saw rook b1? No, it's not. It's not true because it's not an inaccuracy. First of all, if you do not do this, you don't really have anything else to play for. I mean, maybe you do, but when if you move the knight on some different square, it's just going to be very passive. And even in this position after rook b1, I still have many good things coming from f5 because after f4 his king side can be weak, and he's not going to have e4 ever. He's not going to play e4 ever. So no, it was not an inaccuracy. It was just a strong move.
Yes, sorry. So first thing first, one knight f3. I'm sorry, but at least you didn't name yourself one d4 bishop f4. So that there's something, or one c4. Yeah.
His humor is famous, or should I say notorious?
Yeah, notorious is probably better.
I think black can still go for rook b8 and b5.
The king side play doesn't have.
Yeah, of course, that's always a plan. But if white achieves b4, then it's going to be a little bit more difficult. Or white can always play a4. And then this knight on h5 is far from c7, where it should belong for b5. So yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
So it's okay. There are many options still. The position is
rich.
full of pieces, very rich. Yeah. Knight to e5 was played. So knight c4 would be a problem after b4, I think. Or maybe I would just play something like b6 to prevent everything, because if let's say he plays the move b4. And
we can make the moves on the board. So
yeah, okay. If he plays b4, maybe I should just play c6, b6 anyway, because the rook on b5 will not. He does have the b file and maybe some activity, but even after b takes, still the knight is threatening to go to c4, and I'll probably play f4 next move.
Is bishop a6 ever a good move here?
Well, possibly, but usually it runs into queen a4.
Yeah, and you now can't take on a2. If
e2 was hanging, then probably yes. So.
Yeah, CC complex with strong and deep suggestions, like
yeah,
rich chess. Bishop
yeah.
5 runs into knight f3. Yeah, that's
of course that's true. All right. So
no, your right response is yes, but we 2500 rated players don't concern ourselves with one move tactics. That would be my response if I were 2500, but then maybe that's the reason why I am not.
I haven't seen bishop g5. I haven't seen bishop g5 in the chat suggestions, so I didn't mention it.
Okay, please continue.
And to the Mr. Big Troll here, I don't know what to say. Alright, so he didn't want to allow this knight c4 ideas at all. He wanted to get rid of this knight. I took with the bishop, and he played the move b4 now. So in this kind, so
You played too much puzzle, right? C complex. I am only consider moves in chat. We 2500 players.
I said if I were a 2500 player,
Ah,
not
Mr. Matin one.
Nah, I don't put the words into my mouth.
Okay, and he played. Let's go back to the game.
Yeah, please. Please.
Let's go back to the game.
Before it
So
escalates.
he played the move B4, and before he played it, I saw the tactic here, which is a known tactic in these kinds of positions. After, when White played this move H3 some time ago. So it's knight takes G3, F takes G3, bishop takes C3, bishop takes, and queen to E3 check, and you regain the bishop, and you won a pawn. So
Okay.
this tactic is famous in these kinds of positions when White plays before in this Catalan Benoni, and I was surprised that he didn't know anything about it.
Did he play this quickly?
I think, I'm not so sure, I think after 2 minutes, I think, yeah, quickly, that he calculated knight takes, bishop takes, and then b4.
So he didn't double check. Before he probably calculated before this and then didn't double check, right?
Well, I guess, I don't know.
Okay.
b4 and...
Okay, but you didn't play knight g3.
No. Here I started calculating, should I take knight takes g3, or should I first include c takes b4, rook takes b4, and then do it? Knight takes g3, f takes, bishop c3, and when I played all of these moves, then the rook is hanging. So I spent like 15 or 20 minutes calculating which of these moves is better. And I chose c takes b4. However, when I finished the game, some of my friends who are known ancient users told me, you had f4, you could have won the game immediately. Then I was like, what? Okay, I saw f4, g4, and I wasn't sure what to do. I mean, but indeed, the engines give this after queen h4 winning for black. So I actually, my move c takes b4 with these tactics, it was actually a blunder.
It's a blunder, but,
Yeah.
But it's a very human-like way of treating the position.
Yeah,
I
of
would
course.
say.
I saw knight takes g4 and I thought, okay, I'm going to win a pawn and I'm just going to play a much better
Yeah,
position.
I mean, okay, so
So I didn't even want to calculate the tactics after f4. And
But did you even consider like knight h, queen h4, or did you stop after f4, g4? And
yeah, I
that?
saw that I can play queen h4, but I actually thought, what's the point of analyzing all of this when I can take a clear pawn and play a much better position?
And that's so going back to the Igor Rausis case, like or any cheating case, like that's the human way of playing. You see something that's good enough, and you don't go for complicated tactical lines when there's like a. But okay, when you say blunder, that doesn't mean like blunder in a sense that you go from a winning position or engine like winning position to worse position, right?
No.
So we are still winning or better.
I'm
after.
still much better, but he does have some counterplay, and we're going to see that he does have counterplay, and it's not so clear. Even though his bishop is very bad, and
what's the evaluation like? Is it better to take on g3 immediately, or was c takes b4 more precise?
I think c takes b4 is more precise, and that I concluded this accurately, that this is a better line, because the rook is just hanging. And he doesn't want to play queen to b1 or queen to d4 to defend it. So
Queen to b1, why not queen to b1?
well, it is possible, but I'm just going to play probably... Okay, queen to b1 may be possible, but I'm probably just going to play something like b6 and retreat the queen to c7,
Okay, but
to g7.
Okay, can
or
you tell us
e5.
about like okay, so you reach this position and you probably know that you're clearly better or close to winning, right? And so how do you, like many people, me including, and probably most of the people in chat, we have like huge difficulty in converting like the positions like this, especially against tough resistance. So what is how did you feel? Like, did you feel excited, nervous, since you know
for me, it doesn't make a lot of difference. I just try to find the best moves, and I knew that this position is not so easy to win, because I played this move f5 and my king side is weaker because of that, and he could get some counterplay with these rooks. I still need a move to spend a move on b6 to activate the bishop, so I just
focused on the game and continued trying to find the best moves. It's not something like, okay, you're playing against a stronger opponent, but you shouldn't let the opponent's rating. I mean, it's just a number. It's not like even 2600 players can play a really stupid game and really blunder everything. So whether you're playing 2100, 2600, you should treat the position the same way. Try to find the best moves and play them.
Okay, we take some questions.
It's not only pawn, also the d pawn is on the wrong square. No, yes, the d5 pawn does block his bishop, but and the d2 pawn is preventing him from getting on the e file. So I am better. It's true.
Yeah. So what instead of b4
For white.
So,
Yeah, okay.
What's the way of
Actually,
king h2 or
I expected the move e3, simple and slow move.
e3?
Yeah, e3, preventing everything.
And then you would go back with the knight, I assume, right?
I don't. It's possible that I would have to calculate f4 and giving up this dark squared bishop, which is really nice.
So yeah, prefers bishop d7 maybe, or just
Maybe bishop to d7 or just a6. No, not so sure.
yeah. And another
Probably
question.
not a6 because then b4. Because no, of course, not yet b4, but. Oh, another question?
And also, so basically everything apart from b4 was better here, right? Just losing
Well,
off, right?
probably, but f4 is again a nasty threat.
So e3 prevents it, both threats in a
Yeah,
radical way.
if he plays something like, I don't know, queen c2, then I would have calculated f4 deeply.
Okay. Yeah.
Did you see the change in behavior in Zdenko after cb4 knight g3?
Yeah, he's always trying to look the same and just... there wasn't a change in his behavior. There never is, I think. So...
Yeah. Also a lesson to be learned, right? From
Well, it's true. It's sometimes it's better, but sometimes it may be better to be like cold face, cold heart style. But sometimes it may be better to I don't know.
Go full Nepo or full Nakamura.
Yeah, maybe just to go like Nakamura and try to find. Usually this style for Zdenko style is better, I think. Oh, he played knight g3, so what? Yeah. Well, it's true. The position is still a chess game being played. You shouldn't let it discourage you.
Yeah, especially since
e3 looks good for white, like equal chances. Yeah, I think the engines give equal chances. I'm not sure, but I'm not worse. I have what I wanted from this kind of structure.
Yeah, it's a game. Even though it's maybe 0-0, that doesn't mean it's
drawn.
It's
It's still a rich game.
Yeah,
It's still many plans for both white and black. So.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, okay. So back to the game. So he played the move rook to b3, which is the most logical move, because from the third rank, the rook can go also to e3 and to harass me on the e file, and I have to retreat the queen somewhere. So I can play queen to f6, queen to g7, queen to e5, but somehow I wanted the queen on the center of the board maybe to have f4 in some lines.
Yeah, it looks logical.
I think it makes sense. And he played queen to c1, which is a strong move. It maybe it threatens queen c7, threatens rook e3. Many useful moves.
And also prevents f4, controls f4.
Yeah, that as well. So, in this position I played the move b6.
And what was the time situation? Do you remember approximately at this point?
I think we both had 30 minutes. Not sure.
Okay, so the time trouble was looming, and it was what? It was 1 hour and a half, an hour, and then you get additional half an hour.
After
Okay.
move 40.
Okay.
So I played the move b6 because I have to develop my pieces somehow. And he played the move rook to e3. All of this I think makes sense, and I don't have to explain it because you just want to enter the 7th rank.
Yeah, okay, but why not? You can start with queen c7 first. That's you don't. It doesn't achieve anything,
what
right?
are you going
You don't have a threat.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I'll just
okay.
play bishop to a6.
Yeah, okay.
And you cannot go rook to e3 again.
Yeah, true.
So rook to e3, and I played the move queen to f6. I wanted this after in the game I was thinking about the move. What was the problem with queen takes e2? With queen takes e2, a big problem. Yeah, I forgot to mention it. Sorry. After takes, I think a big problem is just rook to e1. I have to retreat the queen. I don't know, somewhere.
Even if you just take it there.
Maybe grabbing the pawn.
Here, maybe it's already... Okay, you probably cannot sack the rook, but it's just very annoying, I don't know.
Those two open files are killing you.
Rook goes sour. Queen h5, you think? Okay, queen h5. And so I play, let's say, rook to e7. And my threat is going to be queen to c7 or rook to c3, rook to c7.
Yeah, this looks very dangerous.
It looks... I didn't like about this position... What I didn't like about this position is that I cannot develop my pieces normally. I cannot exchange the rooks. I cannot activate the bishop anyhow. So
this is...
it looks bad, so...
Yeah, this is how, like Alpha Zero is playing white. You have the pawns, but he has initiative.
Yes.
So that's...
So now we get... I thought queen g7 is kind of forced after rook e3, Clash Kid says. Okay, so queen g7 is an option, but I was calculating at this line after queen c7 that I just play rook to f7 and that he will not have a good square, because if queen c6 then bishop to b7 and he has to go back. If he gives a check here, king to g7, and he goes back somewhere with the queen, c2, c1, I don't know. And in this position, it's really funny, but in this position it's probably just equal. And this is what I missed in the game, because if I play bishop to b7, he has this really annoying move rook to e6, and I will be unable to defend this pawn in a good way. But we both missed that in the game. And of course I can play probably rook to f8 and draw the game by repetition.
But you don't really want to do that.
Well, I knew that he's going to have some counterplay against everything.
So in retrospect, maybe queen g7 wasn't it better, right?
Yeah, possibly.
That's the point. Okay.
Yasser would have taken the pawn. Yeah, probably.
Yeah,
same as Jan Gustafsson. Karpov said once you're up enough material, you stop going after more material and try to win the game instead.
Yeah, well, if you're Karpov, that works usually, even if you're down material, I would say, but okay.
Yeah. So, but we both missed that in the game, and I think he chose queen a3 after 3 minutes or something like that, quickly. So his idea is very clear: to play rook to c1 and rook to c7. It's and hitting on the d6 pawn so that I cannot play bishop to b7 because of rook e6.
Yeah.
So of course I played bishop to d7.
And he's also eyeing the a7 pawn, right?
Well, yeah, okay, but that pawn is
not significant.
Well, usually if he moves this rook, which he did move, he left the f4 square. Yeah. So I chose this moment to do something about it and to play f4. Because, as Vieko pointed out, after rook c8 takes, for example, I cannot take with the rook because of queen takes a7, and I also probably cannot take with the bishop because of rook e8 check. So f4 is probably kind of what I have to do.
Yeah,
or maybe I can play rook to e8 and exchange the rook, this rook. So
yeah, but this looks
f4 looks like a nice move because I'm weakening his king and I'm activating my pieces.
Thank you. Return to Snake Mountain. Mountain for following, yeah, thank you.
So after f4, he played rook to e4. So he wants to...
Thank you, Juanisto, for following. Juanito.
So the idea of rook to e4 is to defend the g3 square with the queen, because if takes, then it's a tempi. He has to move the king first, and then all of these pieces my pieces are active, his pieces are hanging. So
and what rook f3 here is totally bonkers.
I just take on g3. You have to take with the rook again. You haven't achieved anything.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
So rook to e4. I expected this move.
Okay. This. Hi. Say congratulations in Portuguese to her. Speak up, parabéns. Okay. Wait, we can try if that sounds right. Parabéns. Do you know Portuguese?
No, I don't.
Okay, so can we go on 3, 2, 1 together?
So Vieko is going to do this because he's an expert on language.
No, I'm not the expert in language, but we can. Okay, we can try on parabens.
Very good, thanks.
Okay, thank you to you.
Feliz aniversario. Says C
Yeah.
complex. So takes. And here it gets tricky again. Because of this queen takes g3 and now rook to e8. So
Okay,
here,
so what's the the objective evaluation of this position?
well, I thought that I'm much better here after f4 during the game, almost winning. Because I saw that he does have, in this move, he chose rook to c7, but he spent a lot of time here calculating rook f1. But the problem with rook f1 is that I can take this, and if he takes here, I retreat the queen to f6, I think, and I'm just a pawn up. And if he takes the queen, I take rook e4, he takes on d6, and now if I take the bishop, he also takes the bishop. So in this position, this is actually what was probably a better try for black, because the material becomes unbalanced.
For white, you mean?
For white, sorry.
Okay.
And but I think what he was worried about was this move bishop to b5. Because now this bishop is hanging and I'm going to threaten rook e2 and the other rook to f2. What is this mouse? Sorry. This rook to e2, this rook to f2, and
Yeah, so if he goes, so just to show that if he goes bishop g2, you take here, and then there is no convincing way against this, and he at the very least you can cover the check with bishop a8 or something, right?
yeah, if I
And he
want.
doesn't have queen e6. I
Okay,
guess.
he is not going to do that. He's going to defend the bishop with his king. He's going to play king g1.
Yeah, another question we have, which is sensible. So if you trade a pair of rooks, isn't it like in this variation? Isn't it easier to draw as white? So
No, it's not easier at all. It's actually more difficult. It's actually more difficult for white to play like this. Why? Because in this position, when you let's say you have this position, you don't want to defend passively. You want to do something. You want to try actively defend. Because let's say if you exchange, rook takes e8, queen f6 back. So yeah, trade both rooks. That's right. Takes.
oh, okay.
But now also the pawn structure is a big problem for white, because I have here two pawns against one pawn, two pawns against one pawn. So in the future I'm going to have two passed pawns in some kind of bishop or pawn endgame. And he has two pawns against one here, but they're blocked because the dark squares are really my queen. There's nothing to penetrate the dark squares. There's no dark square bishop or knights or anything. My threat is queen e5, because even this endgame is going to be winning. So it's actually harder to draw if you exchange both rooks.
Yeah, you reduce the counterplay possibilities, right?
Yeah, white's rooks are more active. This rook on c1 is probably more active here, so that's why he chose rook to c7. But in this line, I also wanted to say that probably also rook takes f1, queen takes d7, rook takes c2. It's also very bad for. It's also very bad for white, and I just have two rooks and I can try to attack the pawn, and if I can defend from perpetuals with rook to f7, so it's difficult for white. But still, practically it was a better try than what he played, because after this rook c7, I played the move bishop to f5, so he has to take, otherwise e2 is hanging, takes. And what he wanted to do in this position was to activate this rook, attacking the a7 pawn, and maybe threatening something along here in the future. So, but here I'm threatening to take on e2, so he has to defend it with something like bishop to f3, which he played. Other moves are just bad. Here I can try playing it passively with rook e7, rook c6, rook d7. No, actually, I probably cannot do it because of e4. But all of this doesn't make any sense. I should play actively this position, and I chose the move bishop to e4.
Yeah, now his king is almost more weak than your king, right?
That's right. I'm removing pieces around his king, And
And
I
it's
don't
actually-
care about this a7
I
pawn.
have to say the way you converted your advantage is okay. Apart from these slips, which are normal, like this queen f6, queen g7, it's not so easy to evaluate the resulting position. But like this is a like very instructive moment where most of us will be like, okay, I just want to have my pawns. Most of us and just as Iran, and and yeah, you are just going okay now. In his hope of regaining a pawn, Black went to make several concessions, and now you're exploiting those concessions by
Yeah, that's right.
switching to full attack mode.
I'm removing his defenders, and also after takes, which he actually took. I think that's a bad move, but there is not much to do here.
Just grab them, baby.
Just takes. Here, what I calculated before was also this queen to e5 check. E2 is hanging, so okay, I can take e2 and play a rook endgame, but it's probably a draw. But I had this really nice move, rook to f8. I calculated this in advance, so maybe he blundered this, maybe he didn't, I don't know. But his king is just so weak that his rook is out of defense and he just cannot defend this position. Whatever he does, it's just... Okay, for example, okay, he played queen to g4, but after queen e3 check, it's just mate, because...
Wait, let me see it. No,
it's not. You have like 5
Yeah,
wins. You can do whatever you want here.
Okay.
Just you're probably going to grab the queen after a few checks.
Yeah, and if he goes here,
yeah, you can choose another square, but it's always really
queen
bad.
g2, so you have queen
So,
e1 probably, or
I played queen
e3.
to e3 check.
And what?
Probably. So
Rook f2 or
I think rook f2 is an option.
Yeah, and then
everything's good here.
yeah,
so.
okay, yeah, and if queen g1, you go here and they win.
Okay, if he plays queen g1, yes. If he gives 2 checks, I go to h6, and I don't know. Queen here, the move queen to d4 can also be considered.
Yeah, queen a1 is a really good, stupid suggestion. But yeah, many ways to win. Yeah, because this guy is not participating.
No, but it's not stupid. His king is just so weak that even after this, you simply cannot defend anything.
Yeah.
You don't have threats, and it's just over. So
yeah, he would need the invention of the jumping rook piece to defend it, because.
So yeah, this was the game. So
yeah, that was a nice victory.
It's
So
an
how did he?
interesting game.
Yeah, how did he? What happened after? So did he resign? Did he congratulate? Did he just
yeah, he actually said congratulations, which was a nice gesture for him, and
good sportsmanship.
Yeah, I mean.
I was. Did you analyze after the game?
No, he went to have a smoke outside, and I continued watching my team. Unfortunately, they all lost, and we lost the match 3-1. So.
Yeah. Okay.
But this point costed them because of the because of the tie breaks. They ended up third instead of first. So this had Kožul won this game against me, they would have been first, I think, and got a lot of more money. So.
Yeah, it's all about the prize at the end.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was really good. So when you take a look at this game, where do you rate it in terms of like your best games?
GGO, thank you.
GGO, yeah.
Oh, it's hard to say, but I don't think it was one of my best games. I mean, I should have spent more time in this moment after rook e3. I should have spent more time calculating this queen c7 move. So okay, this was probably the only slip I made in the game. But in this f4 move, I was slightly annoyed that I haven't calculated it deeper after queen h4 because.
Okay. Can we just go? Sorry. So after b4, right? After b4, f4, g4. I mean, it's not so obvious.
It's not obvious, but you have a nasty threat of bishop g4 and f3.
Okay.
You have a really nasty threat.
And what if he takes?
If he takes,
I mean, just to see what happens. I assume.
Okay, so I think I take on h3.
Okay, and he can defend like.
I take.
Like, I mean, that's obviously ridiculous. Like something f3.
Well, it's ridiculous because
And
bishop,
rook
to
f5.
bishop to d4 is also an option.
Bishop d4
is also an option. With I kind of forgot, and I didn't actually forgot about this option in the game, but he would have to play something like f3, which is really ugly.
Yeah, but aren't you like a bit too harsh on yourself? I mean, because it's not like you missed.
Knight f5 and f6 f5 was instructive. Yeah. Well,
we have. If that's with the one with the Queen G2 sacrifice.
you should have prepared Leon's Immortal, the game where you sacrifice half a board and white kings go to H4.
Now you're going to see it.
Yeah,
now.
that's the second game where we prepared. So yeah, you don't get ahead if he will be up to. So we kind of spent more time on this one than probably we thought he would, but yeah, he somehow thought he will come here and talk about chess. Silly him. But yeah, okay. So just to go back. So I mean, don't you think you are a bit like too harsh on yourself because okay, you made one which could be said in accuracy, which although on your level, not on mine. Like this, I wouldn't say this is like. I mean, okay, you saw a clear continuation that leads to clearly superior position, and
Yeah, okay,
I mean,
true.
and
It's
especially
a
since,
human way of thinking.
yeah, and it's not like you have like okay, I mean, I can easily imagine that during the game it's not so easy to evaluate because it's not like you have a forcing continuation, just like you know.
Yeah, but it's just when you calculate the position a little bit deeper, you just see that there is no good move for black
No,
here,
yeah.
for white here.
Yeah, I know, and the f3 is just very ugly, right?
But you cannot play chess like that. I mean, knight g3 or bishop d4, knight whatever.
Yeah, everything is good.
It just is in this position.
Yeah, okay.
This
So
bishop on g2 is now even worse in the game.
nice victory. Okay. Yeah. Okay. I mean, nevertheless, I mean, like I was playing on 2600 rated opponent, even if it was not his best day, which I think we can all say that it wasn't, but it's still not. I mean, it's still impressive.
Well, there are a few factors. First was this opening preparation, which I knew a lot of theory. I gained some advantage of the clock there. So I got into position which he doesn't know really well because I saw this Benoni. He lost. He lost 4 or 5 games in this Benoni with white.